Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about this new Shapes 2 Dimension update that they've just announced literally just a few minutes ago. I was watching the live update, and they put out this new trailer that we can take a look at. So let's take a look at this trailer. They said there's 22 new features that they've hidden in this trailer, and I don't know if some of those features are described below, but we'll take a look and then go through it again and see what we can find. Here we go. All right, coming June 2nd. Wow, that looks incredible. The first thing I notice is it looks like there's just some cool new design. Like these just look designed differently. There's like this glow. It just looks sharper, you know. Looks like we've got our painter, some cool animation there, which is awesome. And that, like the way that it kind of lifts up and the animation there is really cool. Comes over here. This thing here, I do not know. I don't think this exists currently. It almost looks like you can zap away like a specific thing because this is not the half destroyer, right? I don't think. I should look and see, but I don't think the half destroyer works that way. In fact, the half destroyer takes away like the whole side, and this is taking away one thing. So maybe it's like a selective destroyer. I don't know what that is. But yeah, it should get rid of both of these, but now it's only getting rid of one quadrant, which is really cool. So we'll have to see what that is. Then we get up here to the jump. This is where things get crazy. I mean, I'm just looking at this thing. Oh my goodness. So let's take a look. Let's pause here. Let's go through some of these things that they've listed here on their website. And so, yeah, it's going to come June 2nd, which is a couple months away for us a little bit. Dimensional update, 3D platform building. This is really cool. So the platforms themselves can be built just like on top of each other. They're built like buildings, they said. And so you can navigate through the platform layers just like you would building layers as well. So see, we've got two larger platforms, and then you've got some smaller platforms on top of each other with, looks like the space belts have like, a lift and go down. So you can do different layers and stuff on the space belts, which is really cool. This thing here, I think that's a train. It looks like maybe, I don't know, or maybe it's up on the third layer. That's actually probably what it is. It's probably a space belt that's up on the third layer, and I'm assuming that these belts still have 3 layers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So these have 3 layers, but then the space belt itself can be stacked 3 times. Oh my. That's, getting insane already. I don't know about these. I don't know if they currently do that. It's almost like, yeah, they're attached now to the bottom. I can't remember if they do that now or not, but wow, that is really cool. So yeah, they thought they make a lot of sense as you learn 3D construction, normal buildings, then move on to platforms, and so it's 2D again. So there's a whole new axis to play with, allowing you to build bigger. And they said that they use the same basic code as the buildings. And so yeah, you can use Q and E to just cycle through. In fact, here's another picture here of, looks like this, I think, is the same layer as that, but either way, like they're stacked on top of each other. That's really cool. And it just looks crisper. I don't know if this little tube thingy exists in the previous build. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, it just looks already pretty cool. The trains got reworked, so we can see here they've got new colors and new design. Well, sorry, not new colors. They've got new designs, so they look sleeker, more futuristic-y, which is really fun. And then let's see here. Oh, and I think we're just seeing like a train on the bottom, train on the top. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. They actually, the way that they go into these cargo things looks different too. This is totally different. So I wonder what they look like when they go into the cargo, like when it's actually loading up. This is, okay, so transfer station. This is something fun. This new building will allow you to transfer shapes and fluids from one wagon to another almost instantly without having to unload and reload them. So I guess if for some reason, if I'm understanding this correctly, I guess if you put like say you've got something on one layer, but you need it on the other layer, maybe this device will do that, so it'll swap layers or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but that's what it kind of seems like to me. So I'm trying to think of a situation where I would use that. I can't think of anything right now. And then the stops are really cool too. So they've changed them so that, let's just read this here. There are now two types of train stops that allow you to customize behavior of trains. A quick stop will only stop a train if it can unload or load or unload something immediately. So yeah, it's just either way. Otherwise, it's probably just going to pass through that stop, which is great. At a wait stop, a train will wait for up to 30 seconds. And that's one thing that has been sort of frustrating is that, like, if the cargo just barely misses it, then you've got to wait for the train. So lately, I've been just loading up just a ton of trains on one line just so that I'm not waiting for this. But this is kind of nice. So I'm guessing, up to 30 seconds. And if it, takes 3 seconds, it'll fill up, it'll take off and be ready to go. So trains are also much smarter now. They will not stop or continue waiting at stop if, for example, they are already full. So that's the awesome thing. So if it's full, it's just going to keep going, which is great. So I do have a few situations like that in my current play where the train has to stop even though it's already full. So I like that. And this is kind of fun too. Apparently, you can now configure which layers a train unloader should unload. This also works well with the new quick wait station logic. So I guess you can unload them in a certain order. I don't see a reason, but maybe I'm just not thinking fourth dimensionally here. But I've not seen how that would benefit me in my play. But we might come to a situation where we need it. And this just looks really cool too. Instead of having one package per layer, which gets larger as you upgrade, which is true. They're really big. So it almost takes longer to load up the trains than it used to because they're bigger. They have to wait further. Anyway, and therefore it takes longer to accumulate and load, slowing throughput. Yeah. You can now have multiple packets per wagon layer. These packets have a fixed size of about 180 shapes or 1,800 liters, and instead you upgrade packages per layer. Okay, so I think maybe that's beneficial. So maybe you can have like a limit of packages per thing, because right now when we load up, I'm trying to remember how big. It's almost like 1,000. I feel like per train load delivery, it's like 1,000 shapes. So maybe you can have, the same packages load up the total amount that you normally would take. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this works, but I like that idea again because a lot of times you're waiting for those trains to load, and now it's like, well, we've got some ready. Let's deliver the sum instead of waiting for a bigger amount. So I kind of like this. I think that's going to help the throughput, help trains just keep constantly being like delivering stuff, which I think is awesome. And then we've got a bunch more train colors too, because right now I think we only have the basic 3, the red, blue, and green, I think. I'm only really using red and blue in my game, but yeah, so you can do lots more colors, which I think is awesome. So you have a lot more options there. So this is something I'm really excited about. Variable belt launchers and pipes and wires. Okay, so it's not going to let me load that full screen, but right now you're kind of stuck with the distance you have to jump. So I've noticed in some of my things, I'm really forced to widen things out a bit because if ever I want to jump, I can jump it here. But now it's showing you can actually variable this distance. So you can even just do jump one over one thing like this one down here. You can have it so it will just jump one space instead of the maximum that it allows. Or you can variable in between. So we can change, looks like this receiving side and well, I guess it's the same because here's 4 in between and here's 4 in between. So it's just showing different things. But I think that's great. That's going to help our designs a lot because sometimes you get into a situation where, like I said, you're forced to jump this big thing, but you really only need it to jump a little bit. So I love that. And this is cool too. If you just draw this right over on top of another belt, it'll automatically just kind of jump. It looks like the 1 instead. So that's super helpful. Faster space belts. Okay, right now, many of the advanced factories look like this, which is totally true. You have to input everything separately. My stuff looks like this a lot. But that's, I guess, not what they planned on doing. They didn't want it to be designed that way. They wanted platforms to feel more like buildings, so like 4 or 6 per space belt, whereas, right now you're kind of limited 1 per space belt. So with these highly condensed platforms processing 12 belts at a time. So four belts per layer, so 4, 8, 12. That's how it. So yeah, 1-to-1 ratio in the game. But they've increased throughput now, so they can kind of look like this. So the speed is the same, but the throughput is 400%, which means that you can carry 4 times as many forms on them as before. Buildings more like this. So I love that. So yeah, this is gonna look a lot better. So yeah, oh, and you got the layers too. Oh, that is super helpful. Because yeah, sometimes the design is so tricky. You just can't, you can't in order to jump across, you'd have to jump it, and then you'd have to waste a space in order to turn it or use anything with it. But now with like the elevator type things, you can just come right up underneath it. This is great. This is going to help our factories look way better. And like they said, 400%. So now you can combine, 4 going through. I wonder how that's going to look on the output and the input. We'll have to see how that works. Or maybe it's the same. It's just the capacity is larger now. That's probably what they're talking about. So this one here, overflow splitter. They've added a new version of the splitter that prioritizes one output and outputs only to the other side if the output stalls. So I guess it's going to keep going like this. Yeah, it's just going to keep going. And then if for some reason this stalls or backs up, then it will output in the opposite direction. And I think that's going to be handy. I'm not sure why I would use it yet. I'm just trying to think when I would use that. I mean, I guess if the stuff back below or before this gets bogged down and then I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure why I'd use that, but that's helpful and handy for sure. This is awesome too. Searching for shapes. So now you can look when you're zoomed out all the way. You can search for the type of shape that you want instead of going, all over the map and trying manually to find the shapes that you want. Now you can just search for it, and it looks like you've got filters here, so you can pick the design of the shape. If it's circle or rectangle, probably star, windmill, all that stuff, and if it's any color, so they can do colors. Which most of the time. Although that one's green, most of the time they're pretty much uncolored. But I guess if there is a color that you need, then you don't have to worry about painting it. So that's helpful too. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. They've got a couple new platforms. Let's see, they've added the old T, cross, and L platforms. So the T, the cross, the L. I haven't really, maybe I'm boring on my platforms, but I usually just use just regular singles and doubles like this. But it looks like they get even bigger and longer. So that should be fun. UI improvements. I like this. You can see the operator shapes on the main screen, which, yeah, I just kind of have mine pinned on the side, but it looks like now they're just going to stay at the top, which is helpful. I wonder if you can go into them or if they show any information on them. I don't know. This is nice too, the upgrades. So they've kind of split them up so you don't have them all in one area now, which I'm guessing is even more helpful because there's probably more stuff to unlock with this update. So processing, buildings, platforms, trains, wires, decorations, and other. So that'll help clean up the upgrades button for us. You can see the contents of a wire under your cursor. I haven't really used wires yet, so I'm not sure if that's better or not, but I guess I'm assuming you just hover over it and it'll show you what the wire is contributing or what the wire is programmed to do. And cutter. Let's see, we've made through the throughput of buildings such as the cutter and stacker clear. Okay, yes. So it shows one belt coming in and basically one of 4. So you need 4 of these per belt, but then it outputs 1 too. So am I reading that right? Because I think with the swap, this is a cutter. So you would probably need 4 on the input, but then it's going to come out with 8 belts total on the other side. So I guess it's just helping for clarity. I was a little confusing myself on that one, but cool. Also global wire transmitters receivers now have 2 inputs, one for the ID and one for the signal. So you have almost unlimited channels now. Again, that's with wires, which I haven't really messed with yet on Shapes 2, but I'm sure that's going to be very helpful. In addition, you can use the tab key to toggle buttons under the cursor. And speaking of the cursor, there is now a zoom to cursor setting disabled by default. Okay, zoom to cursor. So I guess if we have the cursor in, we can push a button and it'll zoom in. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Those are the big changes, and they do have a bunch of other changes. The thing about this one is, looks like you have to be on 0.0.9 RC7, which is the current version. So They're partially compatible, but it might load with some issues, like tunnels will be gone, etc. So we'll have to look at and see how our game works. But the nice thing is they've said that there will be a branch, I think, on Steam here, so that if you decide you don't want to upgrade, you want to keep the save game, you want to keep the same stuff, you can stay that way, or you can do the upgrade, which I'm going to do the upgrade probably. I'm going to just, if something breaks with my thing, I'll just end up fixing it. But they recommend just doing a brand new game start, just so you can enjoy everything right from the beginning, and then it will be fully compatible. If you're playing on an early version like 0.0.8, it's not compatible. So hopefully that doesn't affect us, and it's coming June 2nd, which is awesome. So let's go back and take a look at the trailer again, just to see if we can see some of these things and maybe spot some other things too. All right, so now, yes, I see here we've got the single jumper there, which is helpful. Let's see if I see anything else on this. I don't know if I see anything else really fancy on this particular thing. Let's go ahead just to spec. Oh man, that goes fast. These here are. Oh, those are probably pin pushers. We were jumping the full distance this time. I feel like the paint inside the pipes just looks more sci-fi-y. I don't know. They look different to me. Everything here. Oh, these are probably the selective output things. So maybe they want them to go all the way. I'm not sure. Again, I'm still kind of curious on when I would use that selective divider thing. Okay, we're getting a view out here. Oh, I'm sure I'm missing something in here. I mean, these do look different. The way that they input, and that's probably because these are so much more capacity now. Yeah, we'll have to see how they output. Or if they do like mixed shapes, they probably have to still be the same shape, because if you mix the shapes, you can't like divert one shape to one platform and one shape to another platform. Although maybe the wires can do that. I'm not sure. Yeah, these look different. And they've got like this. Oh, this is like, it looks like it's like splitting or something. Oh, man, it's so fast. Let's go back just oh. In fact, you know what we should do? Let's just slow this down. Playback speed. Oh, yeah. Going sci-fi there. Okay, first thing, we've got these new cool trains coming up. Different, that's one of the new colors, the yellow. But yeah, this like, it's like a, oh, I wonder, oh, this is probably what lowers it and raises it. It's like the elevator type thing. That's probably what it is, because this looks like it's down on a lower layer. So maybe that's just the design look for that. New trains, more layers, which again, that's the whole point is the dimension, right? New color on the train. Got a train going on the bottom. Boy, this is crazy. I don't know. So we've got a train jumper, which I think they said that the trains can also jump variable distance as well. So you could either have them jump 0 or like 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4 spots, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't know. Again, we've got more of these elevators. Yeah, in fact, that's what it looks like it's showing there. The elevators that just bring it down a layer. Can't really see what's going on here, but it looks like they've got the 3 levels on those platforms, and then just look at all that crazy stuff. And there's so many layers. You can build things super tight now. We probably could put this back to normal. We got the loop there. If you've got the was it the supporter edition? Lots of trains in the back there. They're like sitting there. It almost looks like. Oh, and then that's it. Wow. So there you go. That is crazy. There is so many cool new things in that. Got to wait a couple months before it comes out, which is totally fine. Yeah, 22 new features changes they've hit in the trailer. I don't know if that includes these things that they've listed below or other stuff. Because like I said, that one thing right near the beginning. Yeah, because that's a splitter. So it splits off the disc. They usually don't split Wait a second. Don't the splitters usually split like left and right? But that just did up and bottom. I wonder if you can configure it to split which side you want. That would be really cool. Maybe I'm forgetting things here, but maybe that would be pretty awesome. Okay, we got a rotator there. Yeah, this thingy here, it's like zapping off one corner there. I'm very curious about what that is. So if you've spotted some other different things in this that I didn't notice, yeah, let me know down in the comments. But I'm very excited about this. Looking forward to June 2nd, and I gotta get moving on my shapes game before this stuff comes out in case it does break some of the things that I'm working on. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We've got a playthrough series right now of Shapes 2, which is super fun. If that's not your thing, that's totally fine as well. But we've got a few other games that we've got that I'm playing. Some, especially with like some of my boys, we love to play games together. So it's kind of fun for us to do and put them up here on YouTube. So have a great day, and we'll chat with you later.